Hampshire, it's time to turn the page on 8 years of economic policies that put Wall Street before Main Street, but ended up hurting both. We need policies that grow our economy from the bottom up, so that every American, everywhere, has the chance to get ahead. Not just the person who owns the factory, but the men and women who work on the factory floor. Not just the CEO, but the secretary. If we've learned anything from this economic crisis, it's that we're all connected. We're all in this together. We rise or fall as one nation, as one people. Now, the rescue plan that was passed by Congress was a necessary first step in easing this credit crisis. But it's also important that we continue to work with governments around the globe to confront what is a truly global crisis. But now we need a rescue plan for the middle class. If we're going to rebuild this economy from the bottom up, it has to start right here in New Hampshire. It's got to start on Main Street, not just the big banks on Wall Street. And that's why I've outlined several steps that we have to take right now to help folks who are struggling. First, we've got to act now to create good-paying jobs. John McCain said about a month ago that he thought the fundamentals of the economy are strong. Let me tell you, where I come from, a job is pretty fundamental. I know the steelworkers agree with that. We've already lost 750,000 jobs this year. Some experts say unemployment may rise to 8% by the end of next year, maybe more. That's why I've proposed a new Americans Jobs Tax Credit. Every new employee that a company hires here in the United States over the next 2 years, they're going to get a tax break. That's how we'll create good new American jobs right here in New Hampshire and all across America. Second, we need to help small businesses get back on their feet. To fuel the real engine of job creation in this country, I'll eliminate all capital gains taxes on investment in small businesses and startup companies and provide an additional incentive through next year to encourage new small business investment. And we'll make sure that small businesses can access the immediate loans they need to pay their workers, to finance their inventory. Number 3, we need to provide relief for homeowners who are watching their home values decline while property taxes go up. The Treasury has to use the authority that it's been granted and move aggressively to help people avoid foreclosure and stay in their homes. We don't need a new law or a new $300 billion giveaway to banks like Senator McCain's proposed. We just need to act quickly and decisively for those responsible homeowners in danger of losing their home. I've proposed a 3-month moratorium on foreclosures so that we give them some breathing room to get back on their feet. Finally, we've got to help states and local governments that have been squeezed. I know Governor Lynch can tell you something about this. This is a part of this crisis that hasn't got enough attention. If Washington keeps pushing the burden on the states and cities and towns, you might be forced to raise new revenue through cuts in services, increases in taxes. Today, 21 states are facing budget shortfalls, including New Hampshire. But the last thing we should do when families are struggling is forcing states and towns to choose between getting rid of essential programs or raising property taxes. You've got a great governor here in John Lynch. What he needs is a strong partner in the White House. And that's what I'll be if I'm president of the United States of America. Now, last August, I called for a $25 billion fund to help states and local governments avoid property tax increases. If we had acted 2 months ago, New Hampshire would have gotten the relief you need. We can't afford to wait any longer. We need this fund to help New Hampshire and states across the country pay for health care and education, police and firefighters, without resorting to tax or fee increases. We also have to save 1 million jobs by creating a jobs and growth fund that will provide money to state and local governments so they can move forward with projects to put people back to work. Right now, repairing and rebuilding our roads and our bridges and our schools, rebuilding our infrastructure for the 21st century. If we can rebuild Baghdad, then we can rebuild the United States of America. facilities that reaches out to states and localities. We can't extend a hand to banks on Wall Street without reaching out to Main Street so states can make payroll and deliver services. You need leadership in Washington that's looking out for you, for the services you count on, for the jobs that our economy needs, for the change that will help the middle class. That's why I'm running for president. So you've got somebody in that White House every single day thinking about you. Not thinking about how to stay in office, not thinking about their poll numbers, but thinking about how to make your lives better. These are the steps that we have to take right now to begin to get our economy back on track. But we also need a new set of priorities over the long term. Bottom-up growth depends on a tax code that doesn't just work for the folks at the top. You've heard a lot about taxes in this campaign. Well, here's the truth. John McCain and I are both offering tax cuts. The difference is he wants to give $200 billion in tax cuts to the biggest corporations in America. And he wants to give the average Fortune 500 CEO a $700,000 tax cut. But he gives nothing at all to over 100 million Americans. And by the way, in the debate last night, he didn't deny those facts. He just kept on saying, well, I don't want to tax anybody. I don't want to tax anybody. But I'm going to do this. I can do it. I know how. Well, the fact of the matter is that he is blowing a hole through the budget on tax breaks that are the exact same kinds of tax cuts that George Bush offered. Same argument, same philosophy, that if we give more and more to millionaires and billionaires, that they're all going to, that prosperity will trickle down on all of us somehow. And then he's trying to suggest that a plumber is the guy he's fighting for. How many plumbers you know making $250,000 a year? I have a different set of priorities. I'll give a middle-class tax cut to 95% of all workers.